Welcome back to the channel, folks. We're talking the association, and this one was supposed to be a really good game. It actually turned out to be kind of lopsided. There were parts of the game where the Lakers were up by maybe 29 or 30 points. The game got out of hand pretty quick, and the Lakers never really looked back. They did a nice job of holding off the Thunder's comeback, I think, in like the second quarter, but they just kept stretching the lead, and they held it for most of the game. And this is a quality win for the Lakers. So let's discuss the way that the game played out and what it means for the teams as they kind of round out the last handful of games in the season. So the Lakers went into OKC and they took care of business. Final score of 126-99. Very dominant type of performance from the Lakers. The Lakers shot 55% from the field. The Thunder shot 43%. The three-point percentage, the Lakers shot 55%. 32% for the Thunder. And to actually be a little bit more clear about this, I think the Lakers were shooting a much higher percentage through like the first two quarters. They actually cooled off in the second half. So it doesn't really show you like how dominant they were those first two quarters. The Lakers scored 42 points in the first quarter and 36 in the second. So they were out up front big time. The game wasn't really close. And in the second half, the Thunder just never really got it going. The Thunder scored a little bit in the first quarter, but then after that, it was just like nothing. They were only able to muster 99 for the game. With respect to the rest of the aspects of the game, the total rebounds went to the Lakers. It just seemed like every loose ball, every bounce was going LA's way. And, it was that kind of a game for the Lakers. They made a lot of their shots. It just didn't seem like they could miss in the first half. They did turn over the ball quite a bit, but it didn't really make a difference. They just shot it lights out. Luka was really hot in the first quarter. Reaves was very good. I'm gonna take a look at some of these box score items because I wasn't really paying attention to the game as much as I should have, just because it was so out of hand. Rui scored 11. LeBron had 19. Kind of had a quiet game, actually. He did have 7 dimes. Luka scored 30. Austin Reaves had 20. They were kind of your big scorers. And then off the bench, you got 14 from Dorian Finney-Smith and 12 from Gabe Vincent. And then they cleared the benches early in the fourth. They were able to get Bronny some minutes. I think he hit a 3, so that was kind of fun. And then from OKC, never really got it going. Outside of SGA with 26. J-Dub only got you 16. Chet Holmgren, man, I haven't seen much of him this year. He's been injured quite a bit. But he doesn't really have good defensive instincts, does he? I was kind of watching him under a microscope a little bit today because I haven't seen him much. And J-Dub's been injured, so it was good to see him back in action. But they didn't really have a groove offensively tonight. They weren't that great. Off the bench, not too much going on there. Cason Wallace, 8 points. I didn't see much from Isaiah Hartenstein. He was kind of quiet. Lu Dort, 9 points in the starting lineup. He was 3 of 7 from 3. Offensively, they just didn't have it. And the Lakers, for what it's worth, were making their shots. And it was kind of really bothering the Thunder. Usually the Thunder can impose their will defensively. They weren't able to do that at all against the Lakers. The Lakers were making everything. The Lakers were making deep threes. Whatever they were taking, they were making. They were making difficult shots. They had a very nice rhythm to their offense today. Luka, I think, had 7 rebounds. He had 6 assists. Only had 2 turnovers. He had a good game. 5 of 11 from 3. Yeah, this was a dominant win. This is a huge win because the Thunder, for them, it doesn't mean that much in the grand scheme of things. They've already clinched first in the West. That's not going to be an issue for them. But the Lakers are fighting for improved playoff seeding, right? So that's why it's kind of important to them. So the way that things are going to shake out for the Lakers is they've got this game, which is a quality win. They're actually, I think, playing the Thunder again on Tuesday, so they've got them back-to-back. That's probably going to want to be a revenge game for the Thunder. It's probably going to be one of those games where I think the Thunder probably win. I would be shocked if the Lakers actually won that game, but that would be pretty amazing because then the Lakers round out the season against the Mavericks, which is very winnable. I think a tough game against the Rockets because of playoff seeding. Obviously, the Rockets want to hold on to the second spot, and that will have very, very direct seeding implications. And then the Lakers, we'll see if they need the game for any type of seeding or matchups. They've got a very winnable game against the Blazers. So outside of these 2 games, against the Thunder. It's basically just that Rockets game, and we'll see how the Lakers play it. If they're going to rest Luka, if they're going to rest LeBron, they're going to give some added minutes to anybody. You know, we'll see how they do that. But quality win for the Lakers, really good. I would say, you know, really top-notch performances from Luka and Austin Reaves. Smith, kind of a quiet day for LeBron. He didn't really have to do too much. He had a couple nice moments where he hit some nice fadeaways and stuff like that. I don't know, pretty average game, nothing crazy, nothing bad. For the Thunder, pretty bad game. Outside of SGA, they didn't really have it going. So we'll see if they bounce back against the Lakers on Tuesday. So come on back for that video when we cover what happened. Let me know what you guys saw today in this game against the Thunder or the Lakers. How are they looking? You guys like the way they looked? I think this is a good game for them. Good formula to beat a good team. Solid win for the Lakers. Like, share, and subscribe. Check out some more of our videos. We'll see you guys on the next one.